In 1976, historian James Weinstein and a handful of journalists moved to Chicago to launch an independent publication to inform and critically analyze the emerging new movements on the American left. They modeled it on Appeal to Reason, a socialist newspaper from the turn of the century that once reached more than 500,000 subscribers. They called it In These Times. Over the years, In These Times carved out a unique space on the left, bridging coverage of social movements with progressive electoral politics, and constantly challenging the growing power of corporations on our government and our daily lives. Going through the archives, it's fascinating to see how out front of so many important topics In These Times has been over the years, and also just that commitment to covering these topics in a really deep and meaningful way.
It's been such a platform for a lot of talent. It has launched a lot of folks into very lofty careers.
In These Times has really been a breeding ground for young writers like Chris Hayes and Sarah Jaffe. It's also been, I think, a really important launching pad for a number of vital political voices like Naomi Klein and Bernie Sanders.
Even for veteran In These Times journalists who have been closely charting the rise of corporate power over the past 40 years, this past year has been like nothing we've ever seen.
This political moment with this sort of popular uprising against Trump and against sort of the establishment Democratic Party is the perfect time for In These Times to rethink exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, and take advantage of this new exciting political moment.
We're re-envisioning the magazine from the ground up to create a monthly magazine for these times.
This is a chance for people to be part of that process and help give their input and shape the magazine to become something that ultimately they want to read.
What In These Times is best at is drawing the connections between on-the-ground political organizing, activism, and how that can translate into social change.
In These Times is a place where you can be part of the most important conversations on the left and hear from writers who have real connections to the communities they report from. We also want to provide a place to turn to for hope. We have no illusions about the challenges we're facing today, but we do believe that another world is possible.
We have to figure out a way to allow journalists to be supported without compromising their integrity or their independence. It's a mighty struggle. It's always been a mighty struggle, because those who have the resources generally are those who have vested interests in certain things. And journalists often threaten those vested interests. And In These Times is demonstrating that it may not be impossible. People understand the need for a publication like In These Times.
We've always relied on support from readers rather than advertisers. That's allowed us to stay independent. But now more than ever, I think that's the only way that journalism is going to be able to survive.
Corporate advertisers hate us, so we need you. With your help, we want to make a magazine that lives up to the challenge of this moment. Please join us by backing this project.